Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be going over October new book releases. So as you guys know, I like doing these videos where I go over the new releases of books that are coming out in the month coming up. And so for this one, it will be October. This might actually be really close to when October just starts. So maybe October's already begun. I don't know when this video is coming out because I'm about to go on a trip to BC. So I'm going to be all over the place and these videos are going to be pre-scheduled, but hopefully the timing is right. Anyways, so I'm going to talk about new books that are coming out in October that I'm excited about and books that I think some others will be excited about. Some of them I might not go into too much detail and just give them like a little shout out, but then other ones where I'm excited and I want to go over like what they're about, I'll definitely do that. So without further ado, let's just jump into it and discover some new books together. So the first one I'm going to give a quick shout out to is called Mad Honey, and that's by Jodi Picoult. I'm only saying this because my mom is a huge fan of this author, so I know she watches my videos and she'll be excited to see that there's a new Jodi Picoult book out. Also, Hugo from Scientist Reading World, he also loves Jodi Picoult. I'm sure he already has an art copy of this book, so he probably already knows about this. But anyways, here it is. The next one I have on this list is called The Family Game. And so this one piqued my interest when I was going through new books coming out because this one reminds me very much of the movie Ready or Not. If you guys have not seen Ready or Not, that movie is so good. And so essentially in Ready or Not, the bride is getting married into this family, but in order to do like a rite of passage with the family on the wedding night, everybody that marries into the family has to play a game with them, because their family are like the owners of like this big board game company or something like that. And so they have to take a card from a thing and then whatever that game is, because it's a randomly chosen card, they play that game. So in Ready or Not, the main character chooses hide and seek. And the game hide and seek is they have to hide and the whole family has to hunt them and try and kill them before the night's over. But they don't know that they're being hunted until like they find out that they're being hunted, if that makes sense. Anyways, that movie is really good. So this book is similar to that. It seems that it's like when the bride-to-be is going into the family, they get kind of mixed up in this game that the family likes to play with new entries into their family to, I guess, assess them or whatever, but it's kind of like a psychological game in this sense, more than like an actual literal game. And so this character is kind of like being messed with and has to like puzzle through these different things that are happening and kind of like solve these like family secrets. That's what I've gotten from the synopsis, but that's all I really need because it sounds so cool. Like I think this will be such a fun book to like puzzle along with and kind of like figure out what's going on. And I don't know, it has similar vibes to that movie and I adored that movie. I've watched it many times. It was so good. So yeah, it sounds like something that I would really enjoy. And that's why I'm looking forward to this one. Then, of course, we have the beloved The First to Die at the End. And so this one is a prequel to They Both Die at the End. I read that book and had like emotional scarring. It's still there. I'm still scarred from that book because it was really good. I got so attached to these characters. And I mean, yeah, the book is just very emotional. Lots of connections are made. Things happen. It's good. It's good. So anyways, this is a prequel to that series. In this kind of world, there's a thing called Deathcast, which is invented. And Deathcast is essentially, if you sign up for Deathcast, you will get a call that tells you that you have 24 hours to live, like kind of before you die. So it's kind of like a death prediction service, but they're giving you a heads up that you're going to die in 24 hours somehow. They're not telling you how you're going to die. It's just going to happen. And so that gives you kind of like 24 hours to do something like a last-ditch effort with your life if you want to do something that you've never done before because you were waiting to do it or something like that. And so in the original book, there's a thing called, I think it's like Last Friend, where you can sign up to be somebody's last friend and be there for them before like death comes for them kind of thing. And so in this book, this is a prequel series. So this is like right when Deathcast comes out, when it's like first introduced to the world. And so it's following two characters. One character who has their like life all ahead of them. They have many plans. Another character who is terminally ill and has been like essentially waiting for death to call on them for like their whole life. And so these two characters form a bond, but then only one of them gets a call from Deathcast. And so the book goes from there, and they have to deal with that. So I'm definitely buying this book. Like, I'm gonna get it as soon as it comes out. I will be reading it probably pretty quickly in the timeline too, because I've been like anticipating this book for a while. I know it's been on my like mind since I heard about it first coming out. I didn't know they were going to do any more in this world after everybody was emotionally devastated from the first one, but looks like we're all looking for some more emotional devastation. So I'm going to be picking up this book, and we're going to see where it takes me. Then there's this one, and it sounds really interesting to me, and this is called Jackal. And so the like brief synopsis line says, a young black girl goes missing in the woods outside her white Rust Belt town, but she's not the first and she may not be the last. And so essentially this is following a character who comes back to her hometown. She left and kind of like left it in the wind, didn't want to come back, but she's coming back for a friend's wedding. And so she's here at her friend's wedding when the bride of the wedding, her daughter, goes missing. And so then the whole town kind of goes on alert trying to find this girl. And so the main character does some research. She's trying to find the girl. She's looking into like more of the history of the town and discovers that lots of black girls have been going missing in this town in the forest for like so long in history. And so she's like, okay, this is weird. There must be a connection here to this, and kind of dives deeper into this mystery. And so it's her trying to like kind of solve what's going on and why all these black girls are going missing in this town. I think this one sounds like it's going to be pretty intense, but I'm looking forward to seeing like where this book takes me. And I think it sounds like a really interesting read, and a lot of people are going to enjoy this one. I also love the cover. The cover is stunning. So yeah, keep your eyes out for this one. Then we have this one, which is called Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove. I'm going to read the synopsis for it because it's a fantasy one, but it sounds pretty cool. There's a lot of names I might mispronounce too because, yeah, they're pretty intense names. But anyways, Katyani's role in the kingdom of Chandela has always been clear, becoming an advisor and protector of the crown prince, Ayan, when he ascends to the throne. Bound to the queen of Chandela through a forbidden soul bond that saved her when she was a child, Katyani has grown up in the royal family and become the best guardswoman the Garuda has ever seen. But when a series of assassination attempts threatens the royals, Katyani is shipped off to the Gurukul of the famous Arkarya Mahavir as an escort to Ayan and his cousin Beriv to protect them as they hone the skills needed to be the next leaders of the kingdom. I told you guys, these names are wild, but I'm just really bad at pronouncing names, so it's probably my own fault. Nothing could annoy Katyani more than being stuck in a monastic school in the middle of a forest, except her run-ins with Daksh, the Arkarya's son, who can't stop going on about the rules and whose gaze makes her feel like he can see into her soul. But when Katyani and the princes are hurriedly summoned back to Chandela before their training is complete, tragedy strikes and Katyani is torn from the only life she's ever known. Alone and betrayed in a land infested by monsters, Katyani must find answers from her past to save all she loves and forge her own destiny. Bonds can be broken, but debts must be repaid. So yeah, that sounds pretty good, and something that would be like a good start to a fantasy series. I don't know if it's a standalone, but if it is, then great, because standalones are always good. But this one definitely sounds like it could be the start to a good fantasy series that continues on. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. Then we have this one that just kind of like piqued my interest, and it is called Dark Room Etiquette. And it's about a boy who's kidnapped and put into like a windowless room. And so it's the story of them trying to like figure out how to get out of here and escape this place that the kidnapper put them in. But like as time goes on, they kind of have to more blend into like this kidnapper's vision of them and try and, I guess, do what the kidnapper wants in order to survive and potentially escape. I don't really know like where it's going to go with this book, but it sounds intriguing. And it sounds like something like out of a true crime story. So yeah, it could be a good one. I'm not too sure, but it piqued my interest. Then for any of you guys that are excited about Christmas, there's one called Just Like Magic coming out. So you can pick this one up in October. You might not have to read it in October, but you can get ready for the Christmas season. So this is following a character named Betty, who is very much popular in social media. They like to keep up their social image of living in luxury. Meanwhile, they're actually living in Colorado in like a small house. They've been cut off from their mom and dad, who were up until now paying for all these expenses of luxurious things. So now they're kind of just trying to keep that image up, but they don't have the money to afford it anymore. And so they are going through boxes. I think they found an old record and they put one on, which is All I Want for Christmas Is You, but accidentally it listens to it backwards. And by doing that, it summons like a Christmas spirit in the form of a man that is kind of like giving them like good cheer, helping them see the good things in life and how it's like not just about social image and stuff like that. And so Betty is like discovering all this good cheer in the Christmas season and moving forward, but like the more she accepts this new way of life and not being like that whole social person, the more her like Christmas spirit man starts to disappear because like I guess his job is done or something like that. And so I don't know where this is gonna go, but it sounds like an interesting one where she's gonna be chasing after this Christmas spirit of a man to try and keep him, but also like just be good and not be like so like obsessed with her social appearance. So yeah, I don't really know where this book is going to take us, but it definitely will have Christmas vibes. And yeah, I'm all for that. And those are all the books that I really have for the new releases. I didn't have too much time to go into like a lot of research for this month just because I've been preparing to go on my trip. But if you guys have any other books that you know of that are coming out in October that you're super excited about, let me know in the comments down below because I'm always looking forward to like hearing about new books coming out. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and Coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as linked by my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.